Okay, go ahead and start recording. So today is the 11th of December, and I don't know about y'all, but this month is flying by. Like, I feel like it just turned December 1st, like yesterday. And it's not even so much the holidays. I don't know why it feels like it's going so fast, but it is. And obviously we just had a big launch last week.
I get Marvin.
Amazing. And we're just getting started with this launch, like literally just getting started with it. So that's really cool and exciting. Hold on a minute. There we go. And so I'm excited about that. And then obviously New Year's is coming up. So we have a lot going on, and we're about to have explosion mode, right? So we're kind of like the calm before the storm. And if you didn't watch the National Wake Up Call with Micah Folsom, you got to go watch the National Wake Up Call. It was so awesome, and she hit the nail on the head like so hard with where we're at right now and why we don't need to take the foot off the pedal. If anything, it needs to be on full blast because now's the time. So anyway, I didn't know what I wanted to talk about tonight, and I actually purchased I wouldn't say a few months ago, maybe about a month ago. You guys know I love Eric Worre. I usually go to his live events. Didn't go this year because literally that would have been 3 months in a row going to Vegas. And I mean, as much as I love Vegas, like it just seemed a little obnoxious. I mean, it really just did. So I was like, let me just purchase the live stream. That way I have access to it. They only give it to you for like 2 weeks. So I'm like trying to get as much out of it as I can. So on top of my personal development, I've been trying to watch the videos too. And gosh, one of them just was like, oh, what? Oh, I just have to share this with y'all. And I don't want it to come across like in a negative context because it's not. It's just our industry. And I feel like you get the raw truth with GoPro because, yes, we're in network marketing or social. People are calling it something else now. I don't know if you've noticed this. Social networking or social marketing or something like that. There's a couple of the skincare people aren't calling it network marketing. They're calling it social selling or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe it's a prettier what? No, you don't like that. They're like trying to make it more social oriented.
I'm not selling anything.
Right.
Sorry.
So
that turns me off. Doesn't that turn you off?
Yeah. I've heard social selling. I've heard social something else, but for whatever reason, it's the hair, the Monet, and then another skincare line that they use it all the time. I'm like, I don't know if they just came up a creative name for marketing or what, but anyway, there's hours and hours and hours of content from this GoPro event. So I Incel Social Eye.
But it should have been iCell Social Eye.
So that being said, you guys, if there's something that if you want to watch this live thing, I don't remember how much I paid for it. I think it was like $100, which really is not that bad considering that if I would have gone to Vegas, gotten a hotel room, gotten a ticket, all that food and all that stuff, and a lot more money. So I figured get the live stream. If you want the live stream, I'll give you my username, password, if you want to dive in. So that way you don't have to pay for it. Because Eric did basically say, if you wanted to get your team together and watch some of the stuff together. So I don't feel like I'm cheating the system by sharing my username and password. So if you do want the access, other than the video that we're going to watch tonight, there's some really good social media tips. These people that are on panels and stages are like multi-million-dollar earners. Like, it's just insanity. Like, and they're sharing what's working for you. And it's like young people all the way up to like older people, like that have been in the business for 20, 30 years. Like, it's not, I feel like it's new to me. Like, even I've been in 6 years. Some people have literally been in the business for like 30, 40 years, which blows my mind. But anyway, let's see. If you don't know, the free workout, really quick before we go into the video, the free workout, you can access it to send your customers, your friends, whoever. That way they can get a taste of that awesome workout today. It was so good. So good. So I've got an event going. So people, I just posted in the event so people can click on it. But there's several ways to send access to people. So if you want to do that, that's just something, okay. All over the place. All right. So I felt like sharing this particular panel because the panel are called quote unquote ambassadors, meaning that they are inducted in some sort of hall of fame for having a certain level of success with network marketing. I guess maybe Eric Worre came up with ambassador. So he chose like some of his best friends who are having tremendous success, and they're just kind of sharing their trends and how they feel about where network marketing is going and what can be done to better this industry, because it's an amazing industry, but it has its flaws, and we know that. So I thought that sharing this would kind of like help us to know what's going on in the industry, that things that we've actually gone through, that other people are too, so we're not alone, number one. Number two, to help maybe with the stigma of what network marketing is. So I've rambled long enough. And I'm going to fast forward to the actual meat of the video, so we're not here all night.
Okay. Venture I can't imagine. Matt, over there. That's about my whole bio right there, but I've got a little radio show called the Tom Chenault Radio Show. I've had it for about 12 years and just serves the profession. And I've been around the industry for 30 years, and it's just given me my life. I got it when I got sober. I've been doing it ever since, and it's just been the best thing that's ever happened to me and to my children. I have my children in the room. God is great, everybody, and that's my whole story.
Matt, how about you? Pass the mic over.
No, I'm keeping the mic. What was the thing about hogging the stage, hogging the mic?
Yeah.
Matt Morris, have been involved in network marketing for 24 years now, since I was 18 years old. Struggled for 5-6 years before I got full-time. It's a little surreal to be on the stage in this capacity with Richard Brooke, because when I was broker than broke, I read his book, Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire, and I read it and I said, this is why I'm screwed up. So thank you. Made a big difference. Have been with my company now for the last almost 10 years. Have been very, very blessed to have an organization that's grown to over 1 million customers, and it's traveled to 80 countries around the world. It's been an amazing adventure. I can't imagine anything that would be more exciting than doing what we do.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jane Leach, and I've been involved in the industry now for 25 years with the same company. And network marketing found me when I was a single mum, struggling to bring up 2 little boys by myself. Dark days, living a life of quiet desperation, not knowing if there was anything else out there that I could apply myself to. But I remember a defining moment, and that was the day that the postman came and dropped 4 letters on the mat. The first one was an electricity bill. I couldn't afford to pay it. The second one was the tax on my car. The car wasn't worth taxing. The third one was a letter from my landlord saying he was putting up the rent. It wasn't even worth renting. But it was the fourth one that was the paradigm shift. And that was a letter from the school inviting my boys to go on a school trip. And it was £125 per child. And they didn't go because I didn't have the money. And that was the moment that I said something has to change. And I think it's incredible how the universe rearranges itself when you decide that life must change. And good fortune came my way. I met my husband to be now, and I found network marketing And the rest, as they say, is history. I'm Jenny Robinson from Spokane, Washington. I found this. Thank you. I found this profession. We got married young, before we were 19. We lived in a 40-foot travel trailer with 2 tip outs. My husband was working power lines, and I got into my first direct sales company because I wanted the free stuff. And if I did 6 parties, I could have the free stuff. I then put my husband through college and graduate school. We came out with no debt. And then after that, a few years later, I did that for about 10 years, and I went to my first network marketing meeting. And it was very intriguing because in the direct sales I was in, I would promote people to be, that went even on to greater heights than I did, and we would lose them. And I remember sitting in Dallas with a bunch of friends saying, if this was one of those network marketing things, we'd all be doing much better. And then my husband brought home a brochure, and it said, if you're willing to do it, for a couple of years, what others aren't willing to do, you can live the rest of your life like others only dream. And I thought, well, that's what I want to do, because I knew I was willing to work hard. My husband was quickly rising the corporate ladder, was with a network marketing company, and you can have a great product, but if you don't have the right company structure, things can quickly fall apart. And so I had played and rose in that company, but then I had a daughter with cancer. But 9 years ago yesterday, I found a company where my passion and my purpose aligned. And I think that when that happens, magical things can happen. And the last 9 years I always dreamed about going to faraway places and faraway lands and making a difference for people who would never know my name. And that's exactly what's happened. And I'm truly living a life of abundance and being able to make a difference for so many people. And that's why I'm passionate about what I do.
My name is Richard Blissbrook, and I used to work in a chicken plant. And I'm more famous for working in the chicken plant than anything else. And that was in 1977. I've been full-time for 42 years, built for 7 years, owned a company for 34 years, sold it last year, back building as a distributor. And there you go, saving time for Susan.
They rearranged us backstage, and Richard's like, why are you last? And I said, because you're prettier than I am. Well, it's a great honor to be here. Thanks, Eric and Marina. How many of you have ever had a challenging day? Show of hands. Yeah. How many of you have had a challenging month? Challenging year? Maybe you're living it now. Well, there are great days and there are growing days. There are great months and growing months, and great years and growing years. And back in 2000, within a 16-week period, I went from driving the Mercedes and being on television and radio to getting diagnosed with progressive MS, the worst case the neurologist had ever seen. 3 days later, catching my now husband, then husband, having some extracurriculars like Eric spoke about in the 10 Sins. Clearly he missed that episode of Eric's show. And walking into my health club to teach a spinning class and finding a padlock on the door. We'd been locked out for failure to pay taxes, and I'd buried my head in the sand. And it was very soon after that I was approached about network marketing. And the beautiful woman who introduced me, she gave me books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Think and Grow Rich, and Richard's book, actually. And the reality was that I knew, and go ahead and write this down, that I was broke, but I wasn't broken. Thank you, I'll take that, thank you. And I know some of you are here for to a room. I know some of you packed all of your snacks and got babysitters and have special needs children like I do. And I know some of you, your spouse is calling you going, why are you there? You're not broken. You're in the right place at the right time. And I promise you, if you will take what you're internalizing here and go back and be bold and get out of your comfort zone, because your comfort zone doesn't pay, I promise you that one day you can be sitting on a panel just like this.
All right. So I consider all these people my friends, and all of you too, but these are like special friends. I want to have a conversation. Let's forget that they're even here. Okay, just the seven of us. If you can, and I don't care if it gets ugly. I want it to be whatever the real thing is. You're ambassadors. You're chosen for a reason. If you could wave a magic wand for the network marketing profession, what needs to happen for us to go to our proper place in the world? What's the greatest threats to our prosperity? What's our greatest, and anybody can jump in. What is our opportunities? What are the challenges? What are the threats? What must change for us to get better? From your wisdom and perspective and points of view, and anybody can jump in.
Can we just lay it all out?
Yeah, lay it all out.
All right. We just had this conversation backstage. I got to stand. Because honestly, I'm worried this is going to fall down if I don't. So I'm just going to be honest. The biggest threat to our profession right now is each other. Enough with the cross recruiting, like Eric talked about, enough with the salaciousness. I don't want to see another freaking video of you flashing the Benjamins in someone else's freaking Rolls Royce that isn't even yours. Enough. This is a profession. The enemy of network marketing are the big box retailers that offer free shipping of all of our products that we can get on, I'm going to say it, Prime. That is the real enemy. The real enemy are the big companies, not network marketing companies, that want to put us down. There is nothing more powerful than word-to-word, mouth-to-mouth selling. Network marketing, the profession, has been around for thousands of years. We have to stand up and unite. We have to be, Haley and I doing a selfie, we have to be together. Other company leaders, oh my gosh, you hang out with other people from other companies? Yes, I do. They're my friends, they're my peers. Do surgeons hang out from other surgeons from other hospitals? They do. It is time for all of us to stand up and be proud. Network marketing isn't what you do, it's who you are as people. So that's what I wanted to say.
Hold on. I tell these people to ignore these people. We're having a conversation, then they immediately ignore us. Go, Tom, go.
That was awesome.
Don't forget to tell them about contact mapping.
And she's 100% right. But what I can't stand is treating people like prospects. We got to treat people like people. We got to look at them and find out what they want, and then come back to them and give that to them instead of throwing up on people in Starbucks and hitting them with everything that's wonderful about, I know you're passionate. I know you love this profession. I know you love your company. I know you love your comp plan. But try loving them first. Does that make sense to you? It will set you free if you love like crazy, then love more. And just remember that everybody that you're looking at is a human being who probably has a story that will bring you to your knees if you'll take the time to listen to it. But you have to take that time. And then when you find out what they want, sell that to them and let them figure out everything else wonderful about you and your company. Because we've got customers that we really need to take care of. Then we've got people that need to make money and build businesses. And they are separate and distinct. And what we need to do is remember that and love them for where they are, not where our agenda sends them. So that's what we need to do. Thank you.
Respect. That you?
Way to go, Tom. So we just have a conversation?
Yes.
Get up.
Maybe.
No.
You got to look at this.
I am not doing that.
Look at this. I had a different outfit on, but I want to be so much like him that I went, changed my shirt, so I had a shirt like him, a jacket like him, blue jeans like him, and the only thing he one-upped me on was these socks. I couldn't get the socks.
What do you got?
Nothing.
What do you got?
Nothing. I'm poor.
Sit down then. Got black socks on. Well, Eric, I know this won't probably be popular, but I don't care. This is when you get on the ambassador panel, What that means is you've been around long enough, you're old enough, supposedly you have enough money, you say whatever you want, and it doesn't matter. So I feel that way. I think one of the biggest threats to our profession is, and there's no stopping it, you can't regulate it, but I see one of the biggest threats to our profession is supposedly, according to the DSA and the World DSA, there's 175,000 people a week join network marketing companies, 475,000 a week worldwide join companies, and there's no discretion or critical thinking about which company they join. And so, there's two types of income you can earn in network marketing and two types of income you can earn in the world, maybe three total. But for us, there's earned income, there's getting a company and see how much money you can make. And then there's residual or asset income. And so people ask me sometimes, what company do you think I should join? And I said, well, how long you want to get paid? And that's a question that the answer goes like this. Well, I want to get paid for a long time. Okay, well, computers don't understand a long time, so program in a number. Okay, I want to get paid for 50 years. Okay, so does that mean at 49 years and 6 months, you're okay getting a notice from the computer that says, put your affairs in order, you got 6 more months? So I was just in Chicago doing a leadership conference for a company, not my company, a company. And there were about 250, 300 people at the conference. And there was at least 20 people at the conference that were grandkids. They were the distributor, the sales leader. They were grandkids. They grew up, their parents inherited the business, but their grandparents built it. There was at least 30 people out of the 300, maybe 40, that were the kids. They inherited the business. 3 generations, 2 generations. So there's a big difference between, seeing how much money you can make. Just because you made a lot of money last month or last year, that doesn't make you a role model. And just because you can speak doesn't mean you should be on stage. Leadership is about leading people to a better place and doing it with integrity. And, if you think about the opportunity that we're looking to tell people about, really what you're doing is you're telling people, hey, join me, do this, but I haven't asked any questions. I haven't done any due diligence. I don't know how long this thing's going to be around, but come do it with me anyway. We got a whole faction of people in our profession that they do that with their Rolls Royces and all their flash and all their stupid stuff. And then what they do when it's all over is they make a big old dramatic Facebook post about how they were wrong. And then a week later, they're pitching the next deal. And so the only way we're going to change that, folks, is you have to wise up because you're the consumers. And you got to ask some tough questions before you join the next deal. And one of them might be, how long do you want to get paid? Are you building this just for you? Or what about your kids? What about your grandkids? What about your legacy? We need to choose better who we're going to give our reputation and our hard work and our life to, and quit giving it to companies that don't deserve it. That's one thing I've said.
Dovetailing on that, I found myself, I got caught up in this, but I call it the network marketing or the MLM cycle of insanity. And it is having the mindset that I've got to find the new, hot, fresh company that's all about money. And I'll be real open. It took me 13 years and 11 different companies to find my home. And part of the reason why it took so long is I was in that cycle of insanity. I joined the new hot startup and money, fast. And I got excited and I jump in. And 6 months later, the company was out of business. And I went through that over and over and over. And you lose your credibility again and again and again. And I finally, got the idea and the philosophy of building a dynasty, doing something forever. And if you look at a lot of my, my posts online when I'm doing events and trainings, I have a hashtag, it's building a dynasty. And I want to plant that seed that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. We're building something long-term here. And I think it's having a real business philosophy as it relates to network marketing. Now, there's no company in the stock market where the stock goes up all the time. Every stock in the world goes up and it has a correction. It goes up and it has a correction. And you talked about that. And we've got to have that real business philosophy as it relates to our company. So every company, not some companies, every company at some point is going to go through challenges. And if you don't have that real business philosophy, then you get caught in the cycle of insanity. You jump into the new hot deal, and unfortunately, you're in another new hot deal 6 months or a year later. And it's sad. I was talking to someone the other day. They've been involved in the network marketing profession for 20 years, and they've never been with a company for more than 1 year. I don't even know how you do that. I don't know how you do that. So I think that is a threat. It's the mindset of the cycle of insanity is a threat to our industry. I think, and this has definitely been recent for us because we've had some challenges and we've rebounded, thankfully, from the challenges. But as we were going through challenges, other leaders would find out about what's going on. And I got some amazing calls that were from amazing people saying, hey, what can I do to help? I know you're having some challenges. What can I do to help? And I had some others that were very aggressive saying, hey, why don't you come to a company that doesn't do what your company's doing or going through what your company is going through? And it was sickening, absolutely sickening. And so refreshing because
sorry, just had to pause that.
Think the tide has turned a bit. I do think there's more and more leaders that have Richard's philosophy that he taught me years ago. He said, united we stand, divided we fall. A rising tide in network marketing rises all ships with it. And so I think that's the philosophy that we need to have, a real business philosophy. And let's lock arms together as a profession so that all of us can have more success.
Amen.
Before you jump in, Jane, there was a movie that helped me with this philosophy. You know what the movie was? Highlander. I watched Highlander, There Can Be Only One. But I will tell you the scene and the moment when I saw it for the first time, and he goes into his cool apartment that because he's 1,000 years old or whatever, and he goes into this circular room that has all of these incredible stuff over the centuries that he's collected. And something clicked inside my head, and I said, how would I build my business if I lived forever? It's like, those would be different relationships. Those would be a little bit more serious. I would pour into the development of people more than making it just transactional, trying to get to that bonus this year, because getting to that bonus and being there forever, I was so ambitious to get to the rank. Staying at the rank wasn't because I could keep appearances even if I didn't stay at the rank. But getting there and being there permanently, and you look at, how some of the religions have been formed and how they were built over thousands of years, same philosophies of culture and integrity and, a long-term view, but still having an urgency. You still want to help people now quickly if you can, and help yourself as well so you can survive and buy yourself more time to be able to do this cool stuff. But if you live forever, how would you build? And that little strange thing clicked something over in me, and I was able to kind of look at people a little bit differently. But Jane.
Interesting. I think there's two things for me. The first thing is, at the moment, probably more so than ever, and that is managing people's expectations.
Inoculation, yeah.
The amount of people I meet where they are presenting and promoting that with this industry, this profession of network marketing, that you can get involved and do nothing really, and within a few months be making a lot of money. And this is when I see people come and go. The churn happens so quickly is because people are in, they do a bit, they think in 5 hours a week that they can build a 6-figure income, and then in 6 months' time, when the paycheck's just a few $100s, they begin to question everything. And I think that we have to manage expectations. The other thing is to be authentic, is to be you, because you is good enough. And I think the world that we live in now, this crazy world where everything's on these smartphones, I call them dumb phones sometimes, with the way people use them, is that everybody's always comparing themselves to everybody else and thinking they're not good enough, when actually you are good enough. And the other thing that I think is really important in this day and age is to be really proud of the industry that you're involved in. I mean, people say to me, you got lucky, Jane, you've been with your company for 25 years. There was no luck about it. You know, I came across the profession 25 years ago, and I did my due diligence because I wanted a long-term home. I did not want to be one of those people that was in and out and changing their company like you would change your underwear. That was not for me. Because building a business takes energy and passion and commitment and dedication and hustle and slog and grind day in, day out, 24 hours a day. It is not a 5-hour-a-week business if you want to get to the top. And, you know, I also made a big decision when I joined network marketing, certainly in the UK when I got involved. The people's perception of our industry was it was the last chance saloon. You know, if you get into network marketing, it's because you've got nothing else to do. And when I found our industry and I heard that, it made me angry inside. My blood started boiling because I didn't see that. I didn't feel that. When I found this industry, I just felt proud. Proud to be involved in an industry where I can change people's lives every single day. So I said it yesterday and I'll say it again today. I didn't join to give it a go. I didn't join to see if it would work. I joined to be successful. And in doing that, I went to find the very best quality people that I could find. I didn't want the last chance saloon people. I wanted to work with quality. And I think I'm proud to say that I believe that we've changed the face of networking in the UK because of the way we think. And if we think it and we believe it and we act it, we influence the masses locally, nationally, and globally.
That, Jane. You know, I love what she said about managing expectations. I think that's so important. If you have found a product and a company that you are in love with, you know what? I tell people that, are you the rock or the river? If you want to be a real leader, you are going to have to be the rock. And because, you know, the water will move around the rock, and I just stand firm. Things do happen. You know, sometimes there's going to be issues with your back office or things are going to have to work through. But I just always tell people the company will work it out, and I just stand firm because I know where I am planted. I also grew up in a very small town. I had 28 in my graduating class from the second grade on. And I was raised to believe that, you know, you're not better than anybody else, but you're just as good as everybody else. And so I think that always propelled me because, you know, I'm sitting in front of you, someone, you know, that has created an MBA, a massive bank account, with only having their PhD, a public high school diploma. And never underestimate, you guys, what this profession can do for people. At Thanksgiving, I have nieces and nephews who are doctors and maxillofacial surgeons and attorneys, and they were talking about different income levels. And I just sat there and thought, you know, because I believed in something, I was willing to put my blinders on and go to work and look for people who are looking for me, who believe that their financial dignity is their responsibility. there have been so many naysayers. And if we could tally all the people who've told us no, you know, we would all be back in the room in fetal position. But we were driven, we were motivated. And I've had plenty of people who told me, you know, that network marketing didn't work, but I just have kept forging on. And so it's so important that you're going to have those people, but are you going to be the rock or the river? Because if your dreams and aspirations are far out ahead of you, you're going to have to do that. And, you know, be proud of what you have. And the other thing that I know that Tom and I are passionate about, when I talk with people, one of the first questions I'll ask you is, what's your lifetime rank, but what's your paid out rank? Because to me, your paid out rank is really all that matters anyway, because your activity should be exactly what your paid out rank is. And so you guys be proud of that, and don't live in this bubble of lying to people. Let people know that there are peaks and valleys. Like that Matt was talking, the stock doesn't always go up, but just be real and be proud of what we have to offer for other people.
Love it. All right. Before we move on, any other pet peeves? Any other things that just like irritate you about network marketing? Anything that sticks out?
Yeah, so many people just don't take it seriously. They don't understand the value.
They slap it in the face.
They just don't get what they've got their hands on.
Got it.
You know, it's life-changing.
It's annoying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Got it.
So one of my pet peeves is the neediness of so many network marketers. I think gives the profession a bad name. And so one of the things that I train my group on is 2 words. Everyone say, be cool.
Be cool.
Be cool to your prospects. Everyone, you know, sometimes, you know, and I hear it all the time. This is for everyone. Listen, network marketing is not for everyone. If everyone did network marketing, the world wouldn't work. Society wouldn't function. Okay? So we're not going to get everyone. And if you are pushy and if you're calling them over and over and over and over, you might get an extra sale or two, but you ruin your reputation. So this whole thing about, you know, being part of the NFL club, the No Friends Left club, I think you should have a philosophy that regardless of whether anyone joins your opportunity or not, they're still going to be your best friend. They're still going to be your friend. So be cool.
Love it. Be cool.
I love that, Matt. I just want to say, don't put other people down to raise yourself up. Like Donna Johnson's a close girlfriend. If someone says, oh, well, you talk to so-and-so, they're in her team. No. And my standard is, these are all my friends. I have many friends. So if it's Jane's team, Matt's team, whoever's team, the answer is no. You want to have an abundant mentality. The number of people participating in the United States in network marketing, correct me if I'm wrong right now, is just around 20 million. 30 million. So the whole population of Canada, where I'm from, basically. But we're talking about 1/10 of the population just in this country alone have an abundant mindset. It drives me crazy when people leave a team, or my team even, and they talk smack. And, you know, it's often they'll talk smack about the leader who flew them to the event, who bought them the event ticket, who took them out for dinner, who sent flowers when their mom died, and the grass isn't friggin' greener. That's what I wanted to say about that.
Any other pet peeves? We got them? All right. I want to ask you guys something, and I want you to not just give me the stage answer. Okay? Because sometimes there's a stage answer that we all have because you've done this for lots of years and you get this question, or maybe you don't get this question. But I would like to know something truly and honestly. What's something that you're most proud of in your network marketing career? Something that you did, something that you made happen, something that wouldn't have happened if not for you, and you're proud of it. Matt, you got something?
I'll give you a couple. The proudest moment at the time in my network marketing career was not when I achieved a PIN level. It was not when I made a bunch of money. It was when I did my first 90-day blitz. And I had been going for a couple months.
When was
100%. I was 20 years ago. I was 24 years old. 18 years ago. So I had been hitting it hard. I finally made the decision to go all in, like I had never done before. I finally made a decision to get rid of the chicken list and actually call everyone. And I was working, 16, 18-hour days. And I remember the moment, never forget it. I had a meeting in Austin, Texas. I went there for, a handful of prospects. What's up, Austin? And driving back to Dallas, because I had an early morning meeting the next day, and I was so freaking tired and worn out. So tired I was having to pull my leg hairs to stay awake. And in that moment, it was the first time I had ever felt it, but this sense of pride just filled my whole body, because for once in my life, I was finally doing everything it took to achieve success. So that was my proudest moment after about 6 years in networking.
That's great. Who else? I want one from each of you.
A few years ago, I got highest honor in the company at a convention, and it was a pinnacle thing for me, but not to the extent that when my team actually swept all the awards at convention. That's what brings you to just tears to your eyes, and an emotion that you feel like a parent, that it's like, how could you love anymore, and how could you be any prouder? So never, you guys, you will have leaders who do better than you do. Never be threatened by that. This is called network marketing. You guys, that's residual income for life, first of all. So you guys, you want to be praising them as fast as you can and pour life into them. But when you can get that, when it's not about you and it's about other people, and I always tell people, I've always had big, audacious, hairy goals. I mean, I write things down, I'll say affirmations, but when you leave your house, you've got to check them at the door like you would a coat. And when you are out, it's got to be about whom can I help and whom can I serve? And you watch what starts to happen in your life and in your organization. Because if it's all about you, I tell you, people can smell it on you like cheap cologne. And if you want to have a big organization, you will serve your way to the top. And if you get under people instead of trying to be on top of people, you guys, you will have an incredible organization.
So the big awards for your team was won, and for you, it was the accomplishment of the 90-day plan. How about you, Jane?
Mine's a really personal goal, a personal achievement. Ditto everything that these guys have said about what you do within your company, but this is something I did outside of networking, but that networking allowed me to do. When my mum was taken really sick with cancer and given just a few weeks to live, a lady came into our life who helped nurse her, and we say that she was an angel. She came from a little landlocked country in Africa called Malawi. And we didn't really know much about Malawi, even though I've got a business all over Africa. I didn't know much about Malawi. But she worked and looked after my mum till really very close to mum's last few 2 or 3 weeks. And my mum was also highly successful in network marketing. And before she passed away, she said to Attilio, what can we do to help you? Because you've looked after me so lovingly over the last few weeks. And Attilio said, you don't need to help me. She said, well, where do you come from? And they got it chatting about Malawi. And we found out that in this little tiny village, in the middle of nowhere, they had no water. So before my mum passed away from her hospital bed, she raised enough money to build a water well in the village in Malawi. When my mum took in the last few hours, Mum held onto my hand and said, don't waste this, we've got to build on this. So I flew out to Malawi, and with the money, we actually built the first water well. It was called Dorothy's Water Well. And to see kids drink water from a well where before that they'd been drinking from dirty, muddy rivers and streams was just liberating. But while I was there, I was completely moved about just seeing so many people that do not have what we have. And, in this industry, this profession we're involved in, when we get it right, when we've served our time, and when we become these these ambassadors, we have to be able to give back. And when I was there, I realized there was no school, And there was a little tiny boy that while I was there, he passed away with malaria. He was 2 years old. And it made me realize that for the sake of $1, that life was gone. $1. That's all it would have taken to sort him out, to medicate him and allow him to survive. And that was the moment I decided that I needed to do something more. And I had a big hairy dream, and that was to build a medical center in Malawi. And we found a piece of land. We worked hard to raise the money. Whatever we raised, I always doubled it myself. So it became a big team effort. And 3 years ago, we opened the medical center. And we now treat over 100 kids a day. And we have saved so many lives. Woo. We also have rebuilt the school, and we provide all the teachers and the school materials that the kids need, because the only way out of poverty is education. We've also built a maize mill, which is unbelievable. It's packed out every day with the women. It's always the women who are carrying their maize to have it ground for the flour, because without that they don't eat. And that has been one of the most humbling things I've ever done. And I am very proud, and I hope that my mum is also very proud. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Now we're getting short on time, so I want to go ahead and click out here. So I just wanted to share that is like one tidbit out of hours of content from GoPro. So I got a lot of it because, first of all, it hit home. I mean, I know it hit home for all of us in a lot of ways. And it just came to me like in a, I don't even know what I want to say, just we're not the only people, number one, experiencing that stuff and over again, right? So that was kind of like eye-opening, like, okay, cool. Like, we're not the only ones, but we're, you know, I love that AirQuery is bringing it to fruition, like showing it and not trying to hide it. Like, it's like one of those things of like, this is what is going on in network marketing. Let's change it. Let's like make it more of something that people can be proud of in more of a integrity type of way. So I just appreciated that a lot. But if you guys, again, want access to that website, I don't know if more than one person can be logged in at one time. So I don't know, but I can give you my user and password because, again, there's social media training. There's Magic Johnson is one of the speakers. John Maxwell is one of the speakers. Les Brown. There's just a plethora of just amazing content with motivation training. AirQuery does like hours of network marketing training, like up-to-date training outside of GoPro, like the book. So, you know, some of the book is kind of like calling people, which we don't do that kind of stuff anymore. It's more of text and messaging and stuff like that. So again, if you want access to that, I'd be glad to share it with you because it's great. I mean, like literally I've just been sitting around outside of my normal work and like spending more time using it as my PD, and just while I'm cooking, I'm listening to it. While I'm, you know, walking the dog, I'm listening to it. I mean, there's just so much goodness to it. And I just thought sharing that panel was really cool. The social media one was more of a, I would say, a younger crowd. Well, it was a mixture of whatever. We're all using social media, so it's just kind of cool to see how everybody's doing it and having success with it. But let me see. What else? what I'll do is just share on the team page the website and username and password, and just kind of direct you to that, because again, it's only going to be up for maybe another week or two, and then it's going to be probably archived, unless he's probably going to say, yeah, you can extend it for X amount of dollars. But I feel like it was worth the investment of, I mean, typically I go, so I mean, it was worth just paying this live streaming and getting, it was funny because I was listening to the first video and it kind of had the same structure where Eric was like saying, this is the way to do network marketing, this is the way not to do it. And he said there's some people who make a living out of jumping from the hottest to the next one. And my husband's in the living room, I'm in the kitchen, and he's like, I know all about that. He was all like getting into it, and I was like, okay. He's hitting the nail on the head in there. And I'm like, okay. The husband who doesn't normally get into it was just like going, amen, brother. And stuff. Oh, man. Did anyone see that? Clever. Yes. That really stinks for Bridget. Yeah. But it looks like she found something else to do, so that's good. Yeah. That really sucks. But, you know, some companies do come and go. Some stick around forever. And here's to...
I heard LuLaRoe is going out too.
Bad news. Bad.
Yeah.
Like, they are not paying their people. And the thing with that is... I don't think I could join one that you would have to buy all your stuff and then hope to sell it. And that's how that one is. Like, people were like buying all this stuff and not able to sell it. And they're like, oh, well. And there's like lawsuits and all kinds of crazy stuff. But yeah, I saw a crazy thread about that. And I feel bad. I feel bad for people that are experiencing that. I mean, especially when the startup cost for something like that, it's like $5,000 or something to get started. You have to buy all your stuff. And
yeah. And I will say, the thing I really liked is when, I can't remember who said it. I think it was the gal from the UK that talked about how, you know, people get into these thinking they're going to be able to work 5 hours a week and, you know, get all this income and all this money. And to be completely honest, I mean, not that I was stupid enough to completely believe it, but that's kind of how I got pulled in at first too, you know, because that's kind of what we were told. Am I right, girls? Am I right? Yeah. Yeah, kind of what we were told.
Work 4 hours a week and you make $5,000 a week.
Right? No, it was like, oh, well, you're already doing it. You know, you might as well get paid for it. I hate that line. I seriously,
I've used it before.
I hate that line.
Sorry.
I hate it. Because that's exactly what you know who do. You know, it was like, well, you're already doing it in our group. You could just get paid for it. No, that's not how it works. So anyway, that's I'm off my soapbox. Sorry.
I liked the quote, your comfort zone doesn't pay. That, and then how would I build my business if I were building it forever? Which was, I think, Eric saying, you know, how would you build it if you were building it forever and not making like a transaction, building it forever with the people that you want to build it forever with, right? But I don't know. Good stuff. Really good stuff. I love all the different personalities that I'm getting from like that, the panels, and then like the speakers that are just, there's this one girl, I don't know what company she's with. You're going to have to watch her. She's just like, and then you have like, you know, like so many different people doing this. It's just funny to see how they're all different. But anyway, what else? I just wanted to give you a taste of it since I wanted to share. I mean, haven't really talked about it after purchasing it. And then I did a post in the round table, and I was like, if you're not bringing him to Summit at any point in time, you need to. He needs to be at one of our events because he's so classy in the way that he, you know, teaches people how to run this network marketing thing that can really have a bad name for a lot of reasons. And that's his mission. He's like, my mission is to make people understand it and work it the right way, right? I will take the link and things. Okay. Trying to think of which one. I mean, there's day 1, day 2, day 3, and they go for hours. But his first video was really good. The panel for social media was really good. And there's a few different speakers for social media the first day. They're all really good. But yeah, I'll go ahead and post that after we get off the call. But we're almost at 9, so 1.5 hours now. You're welcoming to my world. I swear that one time you were like, tell me about your day. And I'm like, you don't want to know about my day. My day was a lot more structured when I had a job when I had to do the things. Now I'm like, no, it's noon. I haven't like brushed my teeth. Well, I mean, I've probably brushed my teeth, but you know. But I get it done. It's just not as timely and as efficient whenever you have the blocks of time. But I did buy a new planner, and it has the times broken down. So it's called Live with Purpose 14-month weekly calendar. So instead of just, and I have the older one, which was just like the days, and you see like, oh, do that. Oh, what time? Like, really? You're just going to be that open and say, do that? And hope by 11:59 it's done. So I was like, okay, break it down. At this time I need to be doing this. At this time I need to be doing this. So I'm hoping to start that. You know what? I'm going to start that tomorrow.
Not gonna lie, Natalie, I have that too.
Yeah.
See, like the time, broken down to 2 minutes. I'm still not following the times. Not happening.
Maybe we need to hold each other accountable.
I will message you
Okay.
at 9 a.m. and go, is your ass out of bed yet?
I had to take my dog to the groomer today, and the appointment was at 10. And when I called the groomer, they like, we have a 9 o'clock and a 10 o'clock. And I was like, and my husband looked at me and was like, are you freaking kidding me? And I was like, I'll do the 10 o'clock. And then I was like, I'm going to have to wake up at 8 tomorrow morning. And he was like, I can't with you. Like, I just can't with you. Like, become a night owl. But anyway. All right. I'm going to let y'all go since it's 9 Eastern. And I know, well, it's 6 Pacific. Always I get confused with the different time frames or time zones. But if you guys have a topic you want to talk about next week, which is the 18th, and then in the week after that will be Christmas, so obviously we won't be doing a call then. If you have anything you want to talk about, is Brooke on? Okay, so Brooke came up with a really good idea before we hang up to maybe have a call here and there, which I think is an amazing idea, where we share our stories. Like maybe have 2 coaches share their story in one call, and it gives you, number one, the opportunity to step up as a leader, share who you are, share what your story is, share what you're doing with your business, and then it gets you outside your comfort zone to speak on a call and that sort of thing, and we get to know you even better, even though we know each other. But you know what I mean? So she came up with the idea, and I thought that was awesome. So you guys, if you want to sign up for that, maybe we'll do it next week. Okay. All right. Let's get a picture. And on 3. Oh, Brooke, do you want to be on? Okay. Not tonight, sorry. Okay. On 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. All right. I love you, ladies. Thanks for getting on tonight. I hope this was helpful and not crazy like network marketing stuff, but that's what we do. So y'all have a great rest of the week and see you later.